right, everybody, we are jumping into video 4 of our launch series. Again, this video series is for any young person with an idea that wants to transform that idea into an actual business in the real world. In our last video, we chatted to Trudy about our competitor analysis and also identifying our unique value proposition. We're now going to kind of use that information to talk about how that's beneficial to our customer and I guess understanding the person who's going to purchase our product or service. But what if it's my business and I'm worried about what I like? Why should I have to think about the customer? Isn't this about me and my business?
Well, you know the saying, Nicole, the customer is always right
but
after all. No, it's really important to understand who your customer is so that you can actually target them correctly and so that you can sell your product or service to them. So you really need to understand who you're trying to target, how they like to be sold to, because everybody operates a little bit differently, and then really understand how you can help them with your product or service.
So is this kind of example of the fact that my grandma, for example, there's absolutely no way that she could buy some new threads on Instagram? So is this part of what we're identifying here is who we're selling to and then how they like to purchase their products?
That's exactly right, because your product probably isn't going to suit everybody out there, and that is okay. But if you can hone in on the specifics of that person that you are trying to target, then you'll really you'll really understand how you can market your product or service to them.
You raised something really interesting there around customers and value propositions. Should I try and build a business that has everything for everyone, or am I better tailoring my unique value proposition to a very specific target market that's going to love my product?
I think it's very hard to be all things to all people, and there is a lot of benefit in niching, as that would describe focusing in on a small subset or a smaller target market.
Awesome, great clarity there. So we're going to do something called a customer persona, I hear. I have no idea what this is. What is a customer persona and how do we go about creating one?
So think about a customer persona as a biography of your ideal customer. It basically is a vision or an outline of every detail of the person that you are trying to target. So from their demographics, their background, their family, their age, their gender, even their race, down to their interests, their hobbies, where do they spend their time, how do they consume media? Are they on Facebook or Instagram, or are they your grandmother and perhaps still reading the newspaper? So a customer persona pieces all of these different bits of information about our ideal client together, give the person a name so that then you can always be saying, am I targeting Sally? Am I targeting James? And that is your customer persona.
Awesome. So as you guys know, in the description underneath the video, there's all the templates and the links and the info and stuff that you need to complete the activities that we're stepping through. So right now you're going to need that customer persona template, and there's a blank one there, and there's also an exemplar that we've filled out there as well. What are some of the key boxes that the students will be working through in this template?
Yeah, so first look at the demographics of your target customer and their background. So like I said, their family and their gender. You also want to look at the challenges that this customer is facing and their problems and frustrations. And we did touch on this in video 3. You want to also think about their goals and how your product or service can help them reach their goals. And then you also want to think about some of the objections that this customer might have when it comes to purchasing from you.
Awesome. So you've got the template, you've got the exemplar. We're going to dig into our customer persona now, and we're going to give you about 15 to 20 minutes to kind of scope out some of the habits, behaviors, likes and dislikes that define the ideal customer for your business. We'll see you in 15 to 20 minutes. All right, Trudy, I've done the customer persona thing. I've identified who my target audience is. I've named her Sally. What do I do with this information now that I've got my completed persona?
So now that you know you want to target Sally or your ideal customer, you need to know where to actually find her and how you're going to get the message out to that person. And that's where customer channels come in. So customer channels are just that, the channels that you are going to use to convey your messages to Sally or your ideal client.
Awesome. So how do we go about capturing that information?
Yeah. So channels can be used for a variety of things. They can be used to raise awareness of your product or service, or they can be used to actually help a transaction occur. So for example, purchasing from your website. So when you're thinking about your own customer channels, think about what are the different ways we can reach our ideal client based on their interests and their demographics, and how can we use those channels to convey our message to the customer. So for example, one would be a website is a customer channel, and we will use that, say going back to our fictitious t-shirt business, we will use our website to allow people to make a specific purchase. But we're also going to use Facebook and Instagram as channels for our customer, because in our ideal customer, these guys are on Facebook and Instagram. So we will use those channels to raise awareness of our business and to show people the different products that we have.
How many customer channels should you target for your business?
Less is more when it comes to customer channels. You don't want to spread yourself too thin, and you want to do them well. So I would recommend picking, say, half a dozen maximum that you might want to focus on. But the key is to differentiate how you're going to use each of those channels. So one channel, your website, that will be for transacting with your business. You might use emails to send follow-up surveys, and that's a different way of transacting with the customer.
Cool. And I guess the goal is to really have that persona at the forefront of what we're doing in order to make really targeted decisions about that short list of customer channels. So if Sally is like my grandma's age, for example, the top 2 customer channels I would be targeting wouldn't be Facebook and Instagram, because they're unlikely to be accessing those particular channels in order to find my product.
Yeah, that's right. You always want to come back to that customer persona and how you're targeting them and how you're helping them to solve their problems.
Cool. All right, team. So we've got a customer channels template, which again is in that description for you to grab. We're going to give you about 15 minutes, keeping your persona at the forefront of what you're doing. We want you to identify 6 or less target channels and how you're going to use those channels to reach that persona or that target customer. We'll see you in 15 minutes. All right, legends, welcome back. In this video, we've gotten through quite a lot of information actually. So, and the last thing that we need to do to finish this off is looking at our customer channels, and obviously from our customer persona, we need to transfer those couple of bits and pieces into our business model canvas. So they should be going into your customer relationship section and also the customer segments of those. So take a few minutes now and transfer those amazing work that you've done on those templates into your business model canvas.